Hello, and welcome back to Happiness Across Borders, an investigation through podcasting. Last time, we heard from my friend Sophia and her experiences deeply rooted in her own culture. For the last episode, we'll hear from my other friend Valeria about her own experience deeply rooted in her culture.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Okay, what is your name, your age, and what grade are you in?
My name is Valeria Dominguez. I'm 16 years old and I'm a junior.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to start off with just tell me what your ethnicity or your cultural background is and how do you define that with yourself?
So, my ethnicity is Latina and both my parents are Colombian, and towards my identity I feel like it plays a big role as it has shaped my life as I grew up.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that kind of leads into the next question. I was going to ask, how closely do you identify yourself with that, and what does that mean to you, and how has that kind of shaped the way that you think about things or go about in the world?
You see, I try my best to connect with my fellow Latinas, but living in Ohio and also going to a predominantly white school, it is difficult. But I try my best in this community of mine, and I rely heavily on my family's culture because, unfortunately, there's also a low percentage of Colombians in Cleveland. So I scroll through TikTok, I find some influencers, and I'm like, wow, I connect to them.
You connect to them. So
and what was the other part of the question?
How does it affect the way you go about daily life?
I feel like depending on the situation, I look at it in like a point of view that my parents taught me, which is very like traditional, like Latino, or I take it in a very like modern, like juvenile spirit. It just depends on the situation.
So speak more about that. What are the difference? Would you say that there is a stereotype between the two different ways of seeing the world, or?
Well, my parents are very traditional when it comes to differences in Colombian and American society. So they tend to judge more. And personally, I don't like that because Ohio and the U.S. in general is very open-minded compared to like conservative ideas in Colombia, since like Catholicism is really important. And so it just shapes me because obviously my whole life I've grown up with them and those ideals. But right now I'm in a society that is very open to new ideas, so it just clashes sometimes with my parents.
So you'd say that both your family life and your upbringing in America and where you grew up both had an influence on you.
Yeah, it's both of them.
All right, perfect. So on a bit of a different track, what would you say happiness is to you, and what makes you happy? And also, how important is that happiness to you, just on its own, not in relation to culture?
To me, happiness is laughter, and of course, because of my culture, dancing, singing, laughing, family, dinner, everything that has to do with joy. And particularly in my culture, everyone's loud, so being loud is really, really important, and it makes me happy. And in general, I find myself happy when I find myself celebrating Colombian traditions or doing anything that has to do with my culture, and in general, I like when I do things I enjoy, I'm happy. Yeah.
So would you say for you personally, happiness is very connected to your cultural identity?
I would say, because my whole life I've just grown up with like music and dance, and that just makes me so happy.
I understand, for sure. Okay, so do you think there's a difference in what makes you happy and what should make you happy?
I see. I feel like in your mind there is like you should be happy that like you get good grades, I guess, but like if let's say like your parents aren't happy, then you're not happy. You know? So it's like you should be happy, but there's also like external factors that would make you feel like accomplished and happy.
So do you think that accomplishments should be making you happy? Or do you think that it should be something within yourself?
I think it should be something within myself, because I don't think your worth and happiness should be measured in your accomplishments, because so many factors in your life, you don't know what your end goal is going to be.
Right, so it should be something coming from the inside
Right.
and not from outside factors.
Right.
Okay, cool. So, on a little bit of a different track, do you think that you see a difference in your view of happiness and your parents' or your relatives' views of happiness consistently?
I'd say from time to time, they like tend to, my parents or like my grandparents, they tend to really enjoy dancing, and I do too, but not to that extent. Since I grew up here in Ohio, there's nowhere to dance openly unless it's like my house. So like obviously I'm more shy to dance, whereas like my mom will dance in the middle of a street. So like obviously I'm more like shy since I didn't grow up around that same culture, but I'm still like expressing myself in somewhat similar ways.
So, would you say that their actions and their activities are what cause them to be the most joyful on the day-to-day, more so than you? Or is it something different?
Honestly, it could be their actions, but also it could just be moments they've had like throughout their life. Like they get really happy. Like for example, my mom gets happy when she has a good day at school. It's like not just actions; it's just like how she feels in the moment.
Yeah, for sure. And is that the same for you, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say it's the same.
Okay. So for my last question, do you think that your happiness comes from more your own personal actions or the success of those around you in your community?
That is a good one. Like I know it should be my own success, but I high-key do it based on others because it's very like I'm in a very tight-knit community, and so like what affects them kind of affects me. So I'm happy when everyone else is happy, but I feel like when there's someone like pushing you down or someone didn't get a good grade, then it pushes the whole community down. So like.
And would you say you got that from the environment you grew up in school and in the U.S. or from your family?
I'd say both because obviously she's very competitive, but also like in like Latino culture, everyone's super close and there's practically no boundaries, and so they share everything. Same with HB, like there are boundaries, but people tend to not follow them, and so I feel like very transparency, and that just like takes a toll on you. I feel like.
So it's a combination of both, a balance.
A balance.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much.